drink this delicious 45, 47 whiskey. Can we smoke the Mayflower cigars too, or is that... Washington, D.C. is a little...
What's the worst thing that could happen? Welcome to CPAC and Backstage Live.
Passing through.
You'll have the whole bottle.
Thank you. This is a show that we do once a month at the Daily Wire. In fact, we're going to do it again on March 4th for the President's Joint Session of Congress, where we get the whole team together and we talk about what's on our mind. And so this will be a little bit different than the other panels that have happened throughout the day because we have to do ad reads. It's okay. It's how we buy the plane tickets to get out here. What I want to talk about, though, first, right out of the gate, today is 30 days of Donald Trump into his second term. Which means even if you don't like Donald Trump, you're 30 days closer to being the end of Donald Trump.
The Democrats must be thrilled. I don't know if they...
I want to talk about all the amazing things that have happened in this first 30 days. One of the most dynamic and energetic beginnings of any presidency, certainly in my lifetime. And since we got all of our pals here at CPAC, let's just talk about how great it's been. Michael.
My favorite thing, this is very difficult, because I loved when President Trump Napoleon posted on Twitter and through social. I thought that was great. Loved that. I loved when J.D. Vance gave lectures on Thomistic philosophy to that CBS News lady on television. That was great. But my favorite thing, I think, my actual favorite initiative for the first 30 days has got to be the presidential pardons. I felt politically it was very important for the J6 pardons to go through. But my favorite pardons, though, my absolute favorite, the pro-lifers who were unjustly imprisoned by Joe Biden and the Democrats. They are American heroes. I ran into one of them outside, John Hinshaw. He might be in this room right now. These are American heroes. These are deeply virtuous people. They were trampled on by their government, and Donald Trump rectified a major, major wrong. He deserves a lot of credit for it.
You know, if I were to say my favorite thing from Trump's term, number two, I'll get to number one, but number two...
You only get one.
Well, I got to... My runner-up is Trump at least talking about potentially taking back control of the Panama Canal. That's a little bit of a deep cut, but I think that's an important thing. And Greenland, too. Maybe we're taking Canada. We'll see. We got to get rid of move the Canadians somewhere else, because we don't want the Canadians, we want Canada. We want the land. Not so much the people on it. We'll move them to reservations up in the Arctic. And they'll be quite happy. But my actual favorite thing is what I think is basically the end of the trans agenda of gender ideology in this country. The fight continues because the people that advocate for this butchery and this insanity aren't just going to go away. They're going to find a way to continue victimizing kids, and so the fight will continue in that way. But look, we've got with Donald Trump in just a few weeks, we have banning men from women's sports. We have putting an end to child castration in the hospitals, defining sex as man and woman. And I think that the legal stuff is really important, but just the bully pulpit, having a person in a position of authority who's willing to say the obvious thing, which is that men are men and women are women, which, by the way, is something that everyone has always known. Every single person in the world has always known that. But for a period of time, a lot of people were afraid to say what they knew to be true.
Thank you, Matt Walsh!
Well, and thanks to Donald Trump, thanks to a lot of people that have been in the fight. But what they needed was someone in a position of power like Donald Trump to say this obvious true thing. And so I think it's the beginning of the end of gender ideology in this country.
Andrew Klaven, you have opinions?
Yeah, by far my favorite thing about the Trump administration has been the absolute decimation and destruction of the mainstream media. It has been like that scene in Game of Thrones where the woman has to walk naked through the streets while people shout shame and throw rotten vegetables at her. Except it's been better because it's been the mainstream media walking naked through the streets. And they've just been reduced, and I knew this the moment...
No one wants to see that.
The moment the